Hi all, Brad Wright from the Single Malt Whisky Club here, and this month we're featuring the Gypsy Distillers from Tasmania, the Spirit Thief Distilling Company. Our malt of the month, their American Oak Cabernet, has been bottled exclusively for the Single Malt Whisky Club, and we're pretty bloody happy to finally get the chance to offer it to our club members. Our members' optional extra for the month of March is from the legendary indie bottlers in Scotland, Signatory Vintage, and their delicious take on a sherry-finished 12-year-old Pultney. So we introduced Spirit Thief to the Single Malt Whisky Club last year as one of our optional extras, and the feedback was so amazing that we just had to organise a special bottling for the malt of the month. And after months and months and months of waiting, it's finally here. And let me tell you, it was worth the wait. Now, the fellas at Spirit Thief have called themselves Gypsy Distillers in the past for a good reason. They spent their formative whisky years distilling alongside and with various Australian legends, and then independently bottling the results. So they weren't just buying spirit from these distilleries for their independent bottling. A lot of the times they were actively involved in the brewing, the distilling, and the maturation process, and most importantly, selecting their own unique casks from their ties to the wine industry. All the while watching, listening, and learning from their various mentors along the way. And not just some people, like legendary names in Australian distilling like Casey Overeem, Peter Bignell, Damien McKay, Anthony White, and the two Adams boys from Adams Distillery, to name a few. But the American Oak Cabernet is all Spirit Thief. Brewed, distilled, crafted entirely by the Spirit Thief team at their Huntingfield premises. It's been fermented using Abbey Ale yeast, then distilled by Brett. The resulting spirit has been matured in Cabernet casks that were hand-picked by the Spirit Thief team from a renowned Clare Valley winery. Before filling with new make, these casks have been given what they call the STR treatment, which stands for shaved, toasted, and then recharred. So let's have a taste. Here it is. The colour you can see, it's quite a lovely bright walnut colour, I suppose. And on the nose, look, on the nose, there's stewed fruit and oak straight away. But there's also a sweet note on the top of it that's caused a bit of a debate with those I've shared the review bottle with, which, by the way, is all gone. There's our second review bottle there I've cracked for this video. Look, that sweet note, I reckon it's Whiz Fizz. My dad says it's boiled lollies, and my son, who at 16 has been smelling whiskey with me his whole life, thinks it's store-bought lemonade. Whatever it is, you'll find yourself nursing this glass under your schnoz and arguing with whoever you're sharing it with about what is that nose? What is that smell? On the palate, oh, it's beautiful. It's a fantastically luscious mouthfeel. It's rich and it's oily. It's nice and fruity too, but without being too sweet. There's a few jammy notes there as well. And at full strength at 55 ABV, it does provide a fair bit of pepper there. But if that's not your thing, a dash of water settles that pepper right down. There's also coffee and nutty notes, which then flow onto the finish. And the finish really settles in for a while on this one. Coffee, dark chocolate, all rolls around sort of roasted nut brittle. And then there's some sweet sort of pipe tobacco in the tin as it fades out with a really lovely warmth. This is one of those whiskies you bring out after a good dinner with good company, then you sit back and bask in the wows, what is this? It's big and it's bold, but it's really well behaved and with a finish that you will chew on with a smile. Be warned though, you are going to argue about that sweet note on the nose. Just what is it? Now, Just one more. Oh, it's good. It's good. And now on to our members' optional extra. And for March, we have a 12-year-old Pultney from legendary Scottish indie bottlers, Signatory Vintage. This is their Pultney 2008, aged 10 years. So I believe this is 3 bourbon-aged casks married together in a first fill sherry butt for 33 months to finish it off. Colours are pleasant brown, as we'd expect from a whiskey that's spent nearly 3 years in a first fill sherry cask. So let's have a taste. And there it is. You can see that colour. It's a lovely sort of bright coppery colour. Very, very nice and lively colour. On the nose, there's poached pears, there's sultanas, unburnt tobacco, and then just a touch of a salty note on the nose as well. On the palate, yum. The fruit comes through much richer and darker on the palate than on the nose. Big red sherry fruit tones in abundance. There's also some vanilla and buttery notes from the bourbon barrels too. Just a little bit of pepper, which is bigger on the first hit, but that settles down really quick. It's a nice, hearty and long finish. Pepper presents at the front of my tongue in waves, while the stewed fruit seems to sit on my cheeks there. That seaside salty nuance reappears sort of towards the end as well. Oh, yum. So that's it for March. Our malt of the month, a big, luscious and oily Cabernet cask aged Tasmanian whiskey from Spirit Thief, their American Oak Cabernet, bottled especially for us at the Single Malt Whisky Club. And our optional extra for March, the Signatory Vintage Pultney 2008, aged for 12 years. Once again, another month of fantastic whiskey for us in the Single Malt Whisky Club. Until next month, I'm Brad Wright, Slange Var.